welcome to the You Can All Fuck Off News Network, where we report news. Well, in this case, it's a Magic the Gathering rumor, a leak from information. Let's just start out of how I came across this. As usual, at about 3 a.m., I was browsing the 4chan traditional games board that I normally browse. Alright, there was a post on there that said, Emrakul confirmed for Eldritch Moon. And it had a link to a MTGSalvation forum post, which is another forum that I also browse quite often. But, excuse me. But the thing about this is, we normally get leaks a few days before the official spoilers come out, and yeah, it's about time for that. So, what this forum post says is that WOTC Wizards of the Coast confirmed, in quotations, Emrakul will be part of Eldritch Moon. How? All organizers receive information about shipments with promo materials by email. There are also what those shipment contains. Last shipment with promo cards for ELM, Eldritch Moon, carry this notice. Shipment contents: ENLAU 2 PREBAB Advanced Emrakul PWD. Marketing campaign promotional material. All hail to the last of the Eldrazi Titan. Supposed to say Titans, but okay. What this could mean is that Emrakul is going to be part of Eldritch Moon, which is fine by me. We're missing the last Titan anyway. However, this could be something that we're just getting the old Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, as a promo, which is also fine because it's an expensive card. What's it, like $50? 45, something like that? Anyways, it's an expensive card and it's arguably one of the most powerful in the game. However, a lot of people are not happy about this because we just got back from an Eldrazi block. Right? We just got back from Battle for Zendikar and Oath of the Gatewatch, or whatever you want to call those two blocks. It's not. But what this means is we're going back to how the Eldrazi Titans should be. Before they were Godzilla and that sort of type monsters on the Battle for Zendikar block. With the mystery and shit behind this one, it's more like Cthulhu. We're going back to the H.P. Lovecraft type stuff. Have Emrakul filling the stead of Cthulhu. Excuse me. Now, we should have known that Emrakul has been, or would be part of Eldritch Moon. We should have known because before we Wizards split to the 2-block system for Standard, they were already working on the new Zendikar block, which that's 3 sets in a block. So we've only had 2, and 2 of the Eldrazi Titans have shown up. How about this next block have Emrakul in it, because they were working on that anyway. They're not just going to throw away their work. Wizards isn't too clever, so I'm not surprised that if this leak is real, that it's true. You know, they're not clever. I mean, they're pretty creative, but they're not very creative, right? I mean, there's a lot of things in this game that they could have done better. Older blocks like Kamigawa and what's the other one? Even Theros, they could have been done better. So and the cleverness and the creativeness of their card creation and their game creation goes into the it goes into how they distribute things. So I'm not surprised that if this is real, that it is real. However, this post was made 2 days ago by Raptor Creek with he's a poster on this forum. He's been on there for a few years, since 2013, but he's only, he doesn't have much of a reputation on the forum. Now, some people with a better reputation in that thread on the forum have said that this is real, that they can confirm it, and I trust those people more than I trust this Raptor Creek guy. Alright. I mean, that's fine, but Raptor Creek's post I'm going to take with a grain of salt, because just as another poster on the forum said, somebody could post something that's the exact same thing about, what was it, Merit Lodge, the Avatar thing. I mean, people were saying that was coming to Innistrad for this block, but we should not be surprised if it is an Eldrazi Titan, because they were already working on that third Zendikar block, as I've previously said. Also, there's been the clues that are around the Innistrad block, like the actual clue tokens, and somebody has deciphered that to say that they come as 3. And who comes as 3? The Eldrazi Titans, of course. Alright. Another thing is that in this block, the storyline, Nahiri wants to make Sorin regret not coming to Zendikar to help her control the Eldrazi. So, what is the perfect revenge for her? To get Eldrazi to come to Innistrad. Now, if Emrakul ends up being this Eldritch horror, I don't think we're going to have another Eldrazi block. I think if Emrakul is featured as a creature that's printed in this block, that it'll just be that one Eldrazi, and it may be something like an avatar, or it may even, since it's not even confirmed to be a creature, it just says Advanced Emrakul. It could mean that it's a spell like Kozilek's Return and Oath of the Gatewatch. It's, just something that mentions Emrakul is coming. And Emrakul is probably not going to be featured as a creature, but I have a sneaky suspicion, I have a very good feeling that Emrakul does indeed have something to do with the horrors going on in this block, like all the tentacles and shit that are Eldrazi colored that we're seeing around on the clues and on cards like Thraben and Spectre in Shadows over Innistrad. I have a feeling that Emrakul has something to do with all this crap that's going on Innistrad. Now, what it will mean for the story if Emrakul shows up is that one or two things can actually happen. Alright, the first thing that's going to happen is that Emrakul is going to show up. Alright, it's going to be a void-shattering, like time-space tearing rip in the sky. Emrakul pops out. Tentacles start flying around, and the people of Innistrad look up and realize that the monsters they deal with, the werewolves, vampires, zombies, that kind of shit they deal with every day, have been nothing compared to the true horror of a Lovecraftian designed hairy scary monster of magic. Alright. Option number 2. Wait, no, I'm not finished with option number 1. Option number 1, it finishes like this. What happens is Jace and maybe the other planeswalkers on the planet at the time, they fucking figure out how to kill Emrakul there. And it's done. No more Eldrazi. Alright, and that would be sad. I have a feeling that Emrakul is popular enough and loved enough by the players that she would not die in one block where she wasn't even mentioned in the previous block. Alright? Now, option number 2, what happens is Emrakul ends up not actually appearing in the block. Or she ends up appearing and she ends up going somewhere else instead of Innistrad, which would be pretty good. I mean, the next plane that they're going to is going to be Kaladesh. It's the home plane of Chandra Nalaar. Alright, and that would be probably a perfect place to put Emrakul, since a bunch of the Kaladesh cards that we got in Magic Origins, they were a lot of artifacts and a lot of colorless support. Which, that's good. I mean, I enjoyed playing a colorless deck in Standard. Alright. Now, excuse me. Oh boy. But honestly, I think that that's probably what's going to happen, is that it's going to end up being redirected and Nahiri's plan had been failed. I mean, a lot of this ideas I'm getting, there are from other forum posts and other posts in this thread on 4chan, but they do make sense within the story. That it would make sense for Emrakul to actually head to Kaladesh, because that would be a perfect place to install it. I mean, that way a completely colorless artifact plus Emrakul deck could be in Standard. I mean, hell, at that point, Kozilek would still be in Standard as well, so they could put Kozilek in there, right? What's the next thing? I mean, come on. Alright, now what would this mean for the Standard meta is that Emrakul joins. We have all 3 Eldrazi Titans, the new versions, available in Standard. And this is only if Emrakul's printed in the set. If she's printed as a promo, you're shit out of luck. But if you have all 3 Eldrazi Titans printed in Standard and that you can use, Eldrazi decks are going to come back in Standard. Hell yeah. Alright. I mean, they were pretty dead for a while after Shadows over Innistrad released. I mean, Shadows over Innistrad's one of my least favorite blocks right now because of what it did to the Standard. It put a bunch of boring ass decks with boring ass creatures out there, right? Even the flip creatures are pretty boring as compared to what the previous Innistrad block was like. They had some pretty cool creatures. I think the coolest flip creature here is either the Neglected Heirloom or the Ormondal that land, whatever it is. Forgot what it was called. I don't have one, so I don't know what it is. I would like to buy one. However, I digress on that. What it would actually just, having Emrakul in Standard would bring the Eldrazi back, which is a pretty interesting deck. I mean, I don't know how many of them I've actually seen. I've seen a green and red, a black and red, a green and blue, and a blue and black Eldrazi deck in Standard. Alright, all of those decks were interesting. They had about the same strategy, yes, just play big ass creatures as soon as you can. I mean, that's the point of Eldrazi. That's why they're so devastating. But if you add in things like counter spells for the blue ones, exiling and just shit for all the black and the red ones, some of the blue ones as well, man, and then you add in Oblivion Sower, you can take all of their land, and that's a pretty interesting way to win a duel or a game of Magic, is just taking all of your opponent's shit. That's why I'm such a fan of using Ashiok as a planeswalker and that kind of thing. Now, if Emrakul was the final piece of the puzzle being able to do this, you know, say, maybe, you know, I wouldn't know what to say. Emrakul maybe having an ability like, take a card out of your opponent's exile pile and you can pay its converted mana cost and play it yourself. That would be a hell of a card. That would make Ashiok and the new Eldrazi Titans ingest, Path to Exile, that sort of thing that would make it super fucking powerful in formats like Modern, maybe even Legacy. So this has some serious potential if it is going to be a new card. And I honestly, since I don't like the Innistrad block myself, I wasn't going to show up for the Eldritch Moon pre-release, but now if Emrakul is actually going to be spoiled and it's actually going to be printed in the set as a new card, I might show up just on the off chance that I might get one, even promo foil from my pack there. That'd be pretty cool. I would love to have that card, so I would definitely go and play. Alright, the next thing that I'm going to say is that we should take this with a grain of salt, because there's no proof beyond the fact that there are credible members of the forum that can, back up this post. Alright, we should take it with a grain of salt, because the guy that posted it doesn't have a very good reputation, because he doesn't really have a reputation on the forum. He's barely any presence there. Alright, so what I do believe that we should do is wait for the entire spoiler to come out. We should plan our deck building for standard there. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of standard because it rotates out, and now even more quickly. So this may not be a deal for me unless it's the perfect card. I'm going to be waiting for the full spoiler to come out. I want to see what this thing looks like, if it is a thing at all. Right? So, in conclusion, we may be getting Emrakul and Eldritch Moon. Emrakul may be the big bad monster of Eldritch Moon. I mean, hell, it's the biggest, baddest monster in the game, other than the big furry monster of one of the unsets, but that's just dumb. That's not even useful in a tournament. You can't play that shit. However, okay, so for competitive play, sanctioned play, Emrakul is the hairiest, scariest monster you can get. It is literally the fuck you, I win card. It can't be countered. Annihilator 6. It gives you an extra turn so you can attack with it. Also, it's 15/15. How do you like that, opponent? That kind of thing. Anyway, so what I'm going to be doing is waiting for the full spoiler to come out. I'm going to plan what I'm going to do from there, and I'll probably make another video about this, because this is a topic I'm very interested in, since it concerns the future of my favorite game to be playing, at least off of my computer. Alright, so in leaving, I'll say bye, guys. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and wait patiently with me for these, or wait unpatiently if you'd rather, with me for these spoilers to come out. Y'all have a good one, and peace out.